In this video, we'll explore a position called Constructive Rest, or basically lying on your back and supporting your calves on a chair. It's my go-to position to recommend to people who suffer from lower back discomfort or sacroiliac discomfort. It brings a lot of release and relief, and here's why. When we're sitting in a chair, we have a lot of strain and stress that happens on those front hip flexors, as well as the back and the spine, to hold ourselves up and resist the pull of gravity down. So even though on the floor you're lying essentially in the same position, in that there's a right angle from the back to the thigh to the lower legs, the biggest difference is gravity. You're lying with your back supported on the floor, and then the legs come up vertically and then horizontally to the floor. So what that allows is the femur, the thigh bones, to fit into the pelvis through gravity and spread and soften and bring some release to the sacral area and the lower back. Also regulates your nervous system, so when you lie there without your phone and relax and focus on your breathing, it allows you to move from an elevated state through the relaxed position, through connecting to your breath, to a more restorative position where you're stimulating your parasympathetic nervous system, which is your rest and recover and digest response. So if you can spend between 5 and 10 minutes in this position, you'll really feel the difference the longer you hold it. Like I hinted a little while ago, don't be on your phone, don't be watching TV, don't be speaking to somebody else, because every time you move or you do something, you're actually triggering some tension in the body. And this position is all about letting go of the tension. You'll see what I mean. Don't forget to like and subscribe my channel so that you can get all the videos as they release. And what you will need for this video is a towel or blanket to fold up for the back of your head, a rolled blanket, a blanket to roll, and a low table or a chair for your calves. So get the props together and let's get started. Once you've collected the props that you need for this position, then set them out on your mat similar to how I have. Take the blanket that will be supporting the back of your head, and then your neck roll just next to it. And then you'll have your table or chair for your legs. Then come and lie down. Have the calves supported on your low table or your chair. Have them slightly apart so that they're hip distance. And as much as possible, have the knees above the pelvis, the knees above the hips. And the reason for that is the more vertical they are, the more that gravity is really going to allow those femurs, those thigh bones, to rest into your pelvis, to really release that back of your sacrum and your lower back. Take the buttock flesh, move it a little bit away from your lower back so that that lower back has got space. And if you have more of a flattened lower back, then take a small folded blanket and place it just by your lumbar spine to create that natural curve for yourself, for your lower back. Then taking the support for the back of the neck and the head, I've got a lower support for the back of my head and a slightly higher support for my neck, because for my shape, the back of my neck curves higher than, goes quite in for the back of my head. If you take your support too high, then you'll find yourself feeling that your throat is constricted and your chin is moving towards your chest. If your support for your neck and shoulders, particularly if you're more round-shouldered or tight, if you take not enough support underneath the back of your head, then you might find that your back of the neck is feeling more compressed and the chin is poking up towards the ceiling higher than the forehead. So play around with the support that works for you. If you do take quite a lot of support for the back of your neck, then you're going to want to take a bigger blanket roll for the back of your neck. And for the same token, if you have quite a small support behind the back of your head, you don't want to be taking too much support for the back of your neck so that it feels like it's crushing into the back of the neck. So it's sort of like Goldilocks. It needs to be just right, and you'll feel when it's just right. Once it is just right, then spread your arms to the side Take a few breaths in and out. If you would like to cover your eyes with a eye bag or some sort of scarf or blanket, then go right ahead. Otherwise, close your eyes if you haven't already. Now you can choose to be here for 10 minutes. I'm just going to walk you through some of the practice and work that you can do in this position. And the magic of this position, there's a couple things that feed into it. The first is having the right support underneath your calves. So if the support is too high, then the legs will feel like they're not resting. And if they feel like they're too low under the calves, then just take a couple more folded blankets so that as far as possible, you can have your shins parallel to the floor. And then having the correct neck and support for the back of your head and your neck makes all the difference. The other magical ingredient that feeds into this very powerful restorative pose is time. So we'll explore this position for a while, but take as long as you need. It's not a position that you can jump in and out of and expect the full benefit of the restorative benefits to happen. So after a while of lying here, you might notice that there are parts of your body that you hold tight that you didn't even know that you were holding starting to release and relax. And that's good. Allow your eyes behind your closed eyelids to gaze down towards your chest. When our eyes start to flit around behind these closed eyelids, they're engaging with the thoughts. And the thoughts will be there, but looking away from them helps to keep the mind quiet. Allowing your breath to be more in the abdominal diaphragmatic area, which is by your lower ribs. And if you know that you do tend to breathe more in your upper chest and your neck and your throat, then perhaps you want to take your hands, place them either on your lower ribs or just below them on your belly. Rest the elbows down, shoulders stay relaxed. So you open the palms and they're just following the shape of your body. You're not pressing into it, just lightly touching. And with your breath in, bringing your attention into that area to encourage more belly diaphragmatic breathing, which is healthier and more towards relaxation. So inhaling, and it does not need to be a deep, full, big breath, just a regular breath. Inhaling into that area, feeling how it moves the hands a little bit up and out. Allowing the throat and the neck to be quiet and soft. And as you exhale into the belly, out of the belly, the hands move back down towards each other. And so if this is unusual for you, just go easy, go gentle. Inhaling into the nose, spreading the belly, the diaphragm, and exhaling through the nose, allowing the belly to rest back towards the spine. Also noticing as time goes on, maybe the breath is naturally becoming softer and deeper. It tends to happen as we settle deeper into relaxation. Maybe there's a pause after the inhale. Maybe there's a gentle pause after the exhale. Just let your breath flow as it wants to. And also as time goes on, the thigh bones resting through gravity into the pelvic joint, spreading and widening that sacral area, which is between the lower back, at the back of the pelvis. For some of us, that area may be imbalanced, and so for me, I know my right hand side of my sacrum and my pelvis tends to move a little bit forward. So in this position, it brings me quite a lot of relief and release to feel gravity and resting onto this even support of the floor. Taking a few more breaths in and out. If you want, you can, if your hands are on your abdomen and you want to spread them to the sides, and take them where they feel comfortable so that you can really feel any release in your shoulders, in your throat. Let the fingers curl into the palms, palms soft. Spreading and softening that skin between your eyebrows, where a lot of us can get these furrows from concentrating and thinking. So no thoughts here, at least not in the foreground. So spread and smooth that soft skin between your eyebrows. Feel also that you can smoothen and soften the skin around the corners of your eyes. Maybe you have a slight smile, little up curl of the lips, which can also soften the face, the skin, the muscles. Just letting the breath flow in, flow out. Now, if you want to stay here longer, please, by all means, do. Otherwise, to come out of the position, bend your knees into your chest, just a little bit. You want to take time coming out of this pose, so let the movements be soft, smooth, not jerky. Bend your right arm, take the hand underneath your head and then roll all the way over to your right hand side and rest your head on that right arm and keep the knees curled into your chest. Now pause here for a moment before you bring yourself to sit up. It's like a transition between the relaxation and moving on. Just notice the feeling on the back of your body, on the sacrum, your lower back, your mind. And then press into your left hand to come up. So for a moment or two, just feeling the body. Thank you so much for joining me. See you next time.